It is Tattersalls sales time, and we can get to Newmarket now. Emma Berry joined by Jimmy George.
Thanks, Alex. I'm joined by Jimmy George, Tattersalls Marketing Director, and this is obviously a very busy week for you. I know lots of people are in Paris this weekend, but there's going to be plenty of people here at Park Paddocks because the inspections are well underway for Book 1 for your most important week, really, here at Tattersalls.
Yes, morning, Emma. It is extremely busy few weeks for all of us at Tattersalls. Book 1 of the October yearling sale gets us underway, starting 11 o'clock on Tuesday morning, running for 3 days. Nearly 450 yearlings catalogued for Book 1, and I think it's fair to say it's 450 odd of the best turf-bred yearlings to be found anywhere in the world, collected in such a short space of time. It really is an outstanding catalogue, featuring an extraordinary number of yearlings by really some of the very best stallions in the world: Dubarwi, Frankel, See the Stars, No Nay Never, Night of Thunder, Wootton Bassett, all of these horses. And there's I think in excess of 170 yearlings by those stallions alone that I've just mentioned, and I think I just forgot Lipa de Vega. How could I do that? Who had another Grade 1 winner in America last night. So this is a catalogue of extraordinary quality, and that's why we get so many of the leading buyers from throughout the world coming here. Some of them will even come here rather than go to the Ark.
And you mentioned all those names of the stallions. It is, I think, fair to say, sort of a golden age for stallions in Europe at the moment. That's obviously part of what draws people here from all over the world. Plus the female lines. It's on the page as well. Some of the best families out there, and I think we can expect probably to see buyers not just from Europe but from far beyond. Who are you sort of looking forward to welcoming from which nations this week at Tats?
Yeah, it's always a very international sale for obvious reasons, because horses bought out of Book 1 of the October yearling sale perform at the highest level literally throughout the world. So I think we'll see a good international audience over the next few days, and running into Book 2 as well. I think the American presence has been the feature of the last few years, and that they started coming in significant numbers a few years back, and that largely since then has been success driven, because they've had spectacular success buying out of Book 1 of the October yearling sale. This year's no exception. There was another Tattersalls graduate winning a Grade 1 last night, which was Carl Spackler, who went through the ring here and looks, to my mind, the best turf miler in America at the moment, and another winner by Frankel last night in America as well. So this is the sort of success that brings these people back in ever-increasing numbers. So I think we'll see a strong presence from North America. Equally, we'll see Japanese buyers, Hong Kong buyers, a little bit from Australia as well, and the buyers from the Gulf are always a feature of every sale at Tattersalls, and I think they'll be very strong over the next few days and weeks.
And Tattersalls is obviously a very big sponsor of racing as well, sort of beyond the sales, in Britain and Ireland in particular. And you've introduced some years back the Book 1 bonus attached to this sale, plus recently, along with Darlene Jubbmont, have got behind the series of high-value maiden races in Britain. Can you just explain a little bit about why you feel you need to support racing in that way?
Yeah, I mean, from the Tattersalls perspective, we've long felt that maidens is where we should concentrate our efforts, and that the first prize money check an owner gets is arguably the most important. So we brought in the Book 1 bonus scheme back in 2015. So they've been being won since 2016, and we've handed out very nearly 400 of them now, which is an awful lot of money. I mean, we're well over £9 million in bonus prize money that's been going directly to Irish and English owners, which is a fantastic thing. And this year alone, we've handed out another 35 at this stage. We'd be averaging 45 a year, so it's £1 to £1.2 million a year in Tattersalls October Book 1 bonuses. In addition to that, this year, yeah, we sponsored 10 £40,000 maidens, which again have been incredibly popular. But I think it's important for everybody out there to realise that there is prize money available. If you look out there, people sometimes concentrate on or focus on the ills of British prize money, but you scratch the surface a bit. There are opportunities out there for owners and trainers which we all need to be aware of. And if you win your maiden and win £30,000 or more, that's a big opportunity. And there's been a hell of a lot of those this year, and since we introduced the Book 1 bonuses back in 2016.
Absolutely, and the action starts, as you said earlier, here on Tuesday morning, and the ring here at Tattersalls has that wonderful theatrical feel to it, and I think we're, regulars are used to those moments when it fills up and then suddenly becomes extremely quiet when a really highly anticipated horse enters the ring. Which are the ones that you think you're sort of really hoping might be kind of box office lots, if you like, this week? Are there any particular horses you're really looking forward to seeing?
Yeah, it's always difficult to pick out an individual in a catalogue of this sort of quality, but look, I guess the one from the moment the catalogue came out, the yearling that a lot of people have focused on, and very understandably, is the Frankel-owned sister to Alpinista, coming from Kirsten Rousing's Staffordstown stud. She is a beautiful yearling from one of the very best families in the stud book, nurtured by Miss Rousing over many, many decades, and yeah, she's outstanding on paper. I think she's outstanding on looks, and of course her sister was one of the best race mares we've seen in recent years, so she will create an awful lot of interest. She's lot number 72, selling on the first day, so I'd say she'll sell at around 2 o'clock in the afternoon on Tuesday, the 8th of October. Book now to avoid disappointment. But there's an awful lot of others out there that I think will grab attention. I mean, Dubawi alone has 4 yearlings, 4 first foals out of Group 1 winning mares, so they will also be very, very popular. One that springs to mind for obvious reasons is the first foal out of Lady Bowthorpe, because she won the Nassau for my brother-in-law William Jarvis, and so look, there'll be a lot of attention on her as well, and Emma Banks, I think, has got a very nice colt on her hands there. But look, there's a hell of a lot of quality in this catalogue, so unenviable to try and pick on individuals.
OK, well, thank you very much. I'm sure there's going to be plenty to look forward to through the week. Thanks, Jimmy.
Thanks, Emma.
Thanks, Alex. With me now is Adrian O'Brien from Hazelwood Bloodstock, and I think we're going to have to start with one of your star graduates from your consignment of a couple of years ago, the great Economics. And so you pinhooked him as a foal and then resold him as a yearling. I just wondered if you'd mind sort of recalling what it was that sort of first appealed to you when you saw him as a youngster, and how he developed through that sort of key stage of his early years.
Sure. The first thing that appealed to me was his sire, Night of Thunder. I've been a big fan of buying stock by the stallion over the years. I like them obviously very much. He's a super stallion. He's having an amazing year this year, and that was the first thing that attracted me to him. Then obviously when I went to see him, big horse, big colt, walked okay, not brilliantly, but okay, and we went into the ring, and I thought at that price he was value, so we took a chance.
Absolutely, and as breeders and consigners, you're involved with these horses from, often from birth, or in his case from as a young foal, and then you have to kind of let them go once you sell them. But I guess it must be enormously pleasurable seeing what he's gone on to do, and how much of a buzz does it give all of your team watching him progress? He
is my favourite subject, my favourite topic of conversation at the moment. I cannot wait, hopefully if all goes well, to see him line up in the Champion Stakes on Champions Day in a couple of weeks. He came from a very good farm. He was bred up in Yorkshire in Copgrove Hole. Superb bit of land, so he had a fantastic early few months of his life, and then fortunately he just blossomed into a beautiful yearling, and sold very well accordingly.
And you're based here just outside Newmarket, but you have an international client base, if you like, with some of the mares you bought for clients, and of course some of your graduates have gone on to success, particularly sort of in Italian and McCulloch, Grade 1 winners in America. I mean, how much is that a really sort of important facet of what you do in this sale this week, that sort of global participation?
Well, I spent many years working in Australia, and when we set up business here in Newmarket back in 2016, all of our clients had a very strong Australian flavour, not necessarily from Australia, but with horses and bases in Australia. They then, knowing that I was setting up here, were very kind to support and continue to support to this day. So it has all stemmed from the Hunter Valley in Australia, basically. And now we're developing more relationships based on what we've done as Hazelwood Bloodstock, which is very satisfying, very gratifying.
Absolutely. And this week in Book 1 you have a select draft, I think 7 yearlings, a couple of Dubawis, some by first season stallions, Mark's Basilica and Palace Pier. What goes into? Could you just talk us through what goes into getting them here, from being sort of yearlings running wild in a field to being, you can see behind us, being nicely led up and down, and obviously they need to behave well to be inspected. What happens at home?
Well, hopefully there's not too much running wild in the field at any point if we're doing our job correctly. From day one we have a focus on the sales from day one, I guess. It's the last sort of 8 to 10 weeks when the polish is put on them, but from day one, they're led in and out of their stable with their mothers here in the northern hemisphere. They're well handled. They're fed well. We look after their feet. The farrier sees them regularly, and then we just let them grow out over the winter once they're weaned. And then, as I said, the last 10 weeks we bring them in, and they have bits put in their mouths, and they're taught to lead purposefully into the bit, walking in hand, lunging, and just trying to showcase their athleticism without actually pushing them too hard, because they're still only babies, really.
Absolutely, and I'm sure they're all behaving beautifully down at your draft today, and I hope things go smoothly for you this week, and we'll see some more Grade 1 winners from your farm in the future.
Well, let's hope, and thank you, Emma. Cheers.
Lane's End Farm, and I know you're a regular at Tattersalls. It's a busy sales beat, and we've just obviously got through more than 4,000 yearlings at Keeneland last month. What brings you over here, and what are you looking for here that perhaps you can't find at American sales?
So we have, it's pretty well known, we have a declining foal crop in the U.S., but our racing purse money is record highs, and I think in the world it's one of the highest. So we have a lot of people that want horses, and grass racing is I don't know that it's 50-50, but there's a lot of really good grass racing with good prize money. And while we have those pedigrees at home, they're obviously, every box here has a lovely pedigree and a horse coming out that can run on the grass and do it America.
And of course, dirt racing does take precedence in America, but as you mentioned, there is a good turf programme, which it seems to me has been expanding in recent years. And do you think that's something that some of the sort of bigger owners in America are looking now to really target, and perhaps through here sort of look at those races a bit more seriously?
100% they do. We have clients that just like to race on the turf. So, while we have our dirt-based clients, if you're looking for these really top pedigrees, especially fillies, that could turn into broodmares in the future, there's no place else to go but Tattersalls.
And are there particular stallions that sort of resonate highly with you or with some of the clients you're working with that you're looking for here?
Most definitely. Somebody like Luke de Vega, and I'll kill some of the names. Memos does well over there. A couple of the new younger sires, Blue Point, and there's one called Pinatubo I'm kind of interested in. So I've got a whole list written down in my book that people said, I'd like one of these, one of these, one of these. Wooten Bassett's one we like quite a bit, Too Darn Hot. So they all translate well back home to America.
And is there a real adjustment for you when you're looking at American yearlings and then coming to Europe? Do you feel you have to get your eye in a bit differently? Are they a different physical type?
So when I was younger, they would send horses over and say, this is what stallion X and Y looks like. And then when I came here the first time, I realized a good horse in America looks like a good horse here. The bone, European horses have light bone. This, not true to me. I see a lot of well-made, very strong horses, powerful hind ends. Pastern angle might be the biggest physical thing that I think we have to adjust for, because we do train and breeze mostly on the dirt. Although, I went to Chantilly once and I saw them all galloping on beautiful dirt courses. So, the pastern angle is the main thing. But other than that, these horses are well made, very strong. And you have all the players here doing business in America. So homogenize might be the wrong word, but I think it's more uniform. The good ones look like good ones anywhere.
Excellent. Well, we'll let you get on with your inspection rounds now, and thank you very much for taking the time to speak to us.
Thank you very much.
I'm here with another Alex this morning, Alex Elliott, bloodstock agent, who's had a lot of success buying at Tattersalls and other sales, obviously, around the world. This season in particular, notable runner bought here at Book One 2 years ago, You Got To Me, the Irish Oaks winner. And Alex, I imagine that's pretty special, having a classic winner through your purchases, one of the highlights, I would imagine.
Absolutely, very proud of her. She's done us. She's had a great year, and you know, every time you look for a horse, you dream that they can. Every time you look at a horse and you want to buy it, you dream that they're going to turn out like she has. So yeah, as I say, very proud.
And can you recall a little bit about her and what really drew you to her as a yearling?
Absolutely, just from the moment she came out of the box, she just had this aura about her, like all the good ones do, and. She had size, scope, strength, and just great movement, very correct. And she was a frame. She was a filly that was always going to get better at 3. But she was one we honed in on from early on. We like to buy staying pedigrees for that particular client, Valmont, and we were happy to get her. It was actually a little bit under what we were going to give for her, which doesn't often happen. But I thought the market was slightly soft last year, so we were able to get involved. And 2 years ago, it wasn't actually soft when we bought her. But for a staying Nathaniel filly, there wasn't that many people that were interested at that level, so we were able to get her.
Fantastic. And Book One, you know, this week, that's what we're looking at over the next 3 days, Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday. You were very active at last year's sale. I think you bought about 20 yearlings. And for that particular book, we have obviously the Book One bonus attached to it. And some of the horses that you've been involved with have won a number of those that year. Is that a real draw for you, for your clients at this sale?
I think it is. I think it's a real. I think it's all in the name. It's a real bonus. I'm not looking at horses and thinking we're trying to give 200,000 to win 25,000. But it's as we all know, the biggest problem with British racing is prize money. So when these horses can run for 25,000 added to the purse, and you know, there's also some great incentives from the Jobmont, the Darley, and the Tats incentive races. You know, we've had horses this year that have won £40,000, and that pays for the year's training fees. That also, people say that America has great prize money, but if you look at California, they're running for that sort of money in maidens. So we haven't got much to complain about if we can manage to win one. And it is a draw, and I think it's kudos to Tattersalls for putting it on.
Absolutely, and this time of year is obviously very busy for everyone, racing and sales, but for agents the sales go one to another, and it's not just a case of you turning up here this week and thinking, oh, that looks nice, I'll bid on that. Can you just talk me through a little bit how you prepare for a sale, right from when the catalogue lands on your desk and your process up until when you're in the ring actually bidding on the horses you like? Sure.
I mean, some people do a lot of catalogue work before a sale. I tend not to, because I work very much from the individual backwards. So when the catalogue does arrive, Lucy Ryan, who works with me, she will go through the whole catalogue, putting in purchase price if the horse was purchased as a foal, stallion nomination cost, because these horses cost a lot to produce. These, you know, some people line up and they say, how did that horse cost 700,000? They could have cost 600,000 or 700,000 to produce the horse. And then we'll put in the ratings of the mare, the ratings of the siblings. So then when I come to Book One, I look at every horse, and when I open it up, I've got that documented in front of me. The process then is, as I said, we go through every horse in the sale. It's a select sale, and I will look for the athletes. That's what you're looking for. It's a bit like looking at a human walking down the street. If you saw Usain Bolt walking down the street, you'd kind of fancy him to be a good runner. And it's very much the same with these horses. So we do that. We look at them the first time round. The horses that make the second list get looked at again, and then I will send that list out to a client. And if the client likes the look of a horse, then we'll go through the vetting process. We'll then value the horses, or we'll have valued the horses before we vet them. And then we go in the ring and we try and buy them within value. Sometimes I'm very much a believer in a good horse will pay you back. So it's sometimes I tell the client we've really got to put the head down and buy them. Other times you're trying to you think a horse is value because it might look like an improver, but that's generally the process. And then we try and buy as many as we can because you need numbers to get you on the score sheet.
Excellent. Well, I'm sure you're going to have a busy day looking at them all now, so we'll let you go off in search of your next classic winner. Many thanks for talking to us.
Fingers crossed. Thanks very much.
Watch live racing now on racingtv.com.